Hello and welcome to Crypto Exposed. Okay guys, got something here for you just to show you how much Hedera does stand out as a network. I saw this on X and I thought I would show you guys because again, this is what shows you why Hedera is, just to be honest, it just stands out. It really does just stand out from other networks. So I've got this post here from Kazan on X, and he has said, I thought Avalanche had low gas fees. I'm dead. People are paying just about the same fee on ETH as they are on AVAX. Solana is just the superior chain. Now I'm going to put Solana to the side right now because, to be honest with you, I don't use Solana, never have, so I'm not well versed to speak on Solana. But we then have a reply from SaucerSwap Labs, who are a decentralized exchange on Hedera, and they reply with the following. As market activity increases, it's evident that gas fees linked to network usage can turn away users. With network fees fixed in USD and unaffected by usage levels, Hedera stands apart. Frustrated with AVAX fees? Say hello to SaucerSwap. By harnessing the power of the Hedera network, we inherit unparalleled accessibility with consistently low gas fees regardless of network traffic. Amazing. So I will say this. I've actually used AVAX, and I'll be honest with you, I actually like AVAX, to be honest with you. I actually hold a bit of AVAX. When I was using it, it was actually during the last bull market as well, and I'll be honest with you, the prices were dirt cheap. I'm just going to be completely honest. So I'm actually surprised to see this, but if people are saying that that's the case right now, like I haven't used AVAX in a while because I've had no need to. So if that's what they're saying, well, you know, I guess that just obviously is the case. But yeah, this is where Hedera is such a different type of network. It's such a different caliber, because what did they do to go around this kind of thing? They made their prices fixed in USD. Now, the thing here as well is what's making this impacted is the network usage, which I've completely seen from Ethereum, because again, Ethereum was also a network that I was using back in the last bull run. And I will be completely honest with you, Ethereum was an absolute nightmare. I'm just being completely honest. I did not like using Ethereum because at the end of the day, Ethereum was very expensive. The fees fluctuated and it was slow. That was my experience. Not trying to hate or anything like that. I've got no reason to hate on Ethereum. I'm just telling you someone who actually used the network, and it wasn't good. It wasn't, because this is what it is. With Ethereum, it costs something called GUI, and GUI is the gas that they use, okay? And so because it's so volatile, there's actually a website that you can use that tracks the GUI. And when the GUI is high, it means the fees are going to be high. And when the GUI is low, it means the fees are going to be low. And so you'd actually have a thing where you'd be tracking this website so much to try and get the GUI to be low, so you could get cheaper fees, because it's costing up a lot of money to transact on the network. So when you're using like dApps and stuff like that, it was just terrible, because you'd literally be thinking, okay, like the GUI is way too high right now, so I'm going to wait till later. But what you got to think is, imagine if this was such like an urgent situation that you really needed to do something within a time scale. Now, obviously, it comes down to a factor of, I guess you're just going to have to suck it up and pay the price. But of course, you don't want to do that when it's expensive. You don't want to think of how much money you're losing because of how expensive the fees are. And when the network's congested, the problem is you can pay the fee and the transaction can fail. So then you have to do it again and risk it failing again. So you lose money once and then you potentially put it through and you could possibly lose it again, right? So Ethereum was terrible. AVAX, I didn't really have those kind of problems. And to me, AVAX was cheap. So there's me just being completely transparent. I didn't really have issues with AVAX. But it seems here that there are users who are complaining about this. But this is where I'm saying with Hedera, man, it's in a league of its own, guys. It really is. They've done it in a completely different way, completely different to all networks that I'm aware of. And they've done it in a way where it's a fixed fee in USD. So it doesn't matter how busy the network is. It doesn't matter how congested things get. First and foremost, from what I'm aware, Hedera doesn't really get congested. From what I can see, it can really handle the volume that goes through it anyway. I'm not seeing any kind of congestion on Hedera. And 2, the fees just stay fixed regardless. It's never a problem in that, and you always know what it's going to be. So there's never this thing of, oh, okay, like maybe later on it's going to be cheaper, maybe this time it's going to be more expensive. Oh, there's a lot of traffic on today, so it might not go through, or it may be a lot more expensive than usual. There's none of that. You've got predictability. You know exactly what you're expecting. And the reason why this is such a big deal is, think of it from a business perspective, right? If you're a company and you're looking to potentially build on a network, if you're seeing these types of networks that are all linked to the token price being what the fees can be and how congested it can get in terms of affecting what the price will be to transact on a network, well, as a company, it's unpredictable. You don't know what you're going to be paying. And so it's a bit difficult in that sense, because you could end up paying a lot more than what you expect to be doing certain things just because the network's congested, right? Or just because the price of the token is flying up. So in this sense, when you've got this whole thing of the price being fixed, for a company, that's a much better option, because they can actually plan out and forecast, okay, if we're going to do this, this and this in the next coming days on the Hedera network, we know exactly what the fees are. So we can say, okay, this is how much it's going to take, which is pretty much dirt cheap anyway. I mean, when you're talking about this kind of stuff, you're talking about scaling to very high levels when you're worrying about the fees like that. But, you know, it's this kind of thing where you've got that predictability. You know, you can forecast exactly what your expenses are going to be. And that's what companies want, right? They want predictability. They don't want it to be a thing where, like, oh, if I put this through, is it potentially going to fail? Oh, am I going to end up spending way more today than I normally would? That's not really good when you're looking at it from a business standpoint. So I have to say, even in terms of AVAX, to hear this, it's a little disappointing, I will say, but I can't say I've had that experience myself personally, but I haven't used the network in a good while. I haven't had to use it, so I'll be honest with you, I can't tell you if this is true or not. I've got no reason to believe that this is wrong. You know, I've got no reason to think people are lying. They're obviously just telling you their experiences. But yeah, like, if this is what's going on, well, this is what I have to say. Hey, I have to say Hedera's got them on this one. It's looking like Hedera really have got the better of them here in that sense. So this is where I think Hedera will be way more appealing. And so the reason why this is a big deal is because I think more companies would want to come to Hedera. And maybe this is one of the things as to why, you know, you've got like the governing council for Hedera and like all these huge companies who talk so positive about Hedera. Like, they've got such a good reputation in the crypto scene. Like, they're one of the biggest networks, one of the biggest companies in the crypto scene. And maybe it's stuff like this because they're so different to other networks. Like, you've got the hashgraph. I believe there's only one other network that does the hashgraph. I think someone said DAG uses it. I'm not 100% sure because I didn't research that. But, you know, Hedera is the only one I know of to my own memory that uses the hashgraph. So unique. Then you've got how they do their fees right here. Completely unique, completely different to the rest. Hedera is just a standalone network. It really is. And this is why I think long term, they are going to have their day. I really think long term, they are going to do very, very, very well. So this is just massive to see, in my opinion, like, and it shows you the problems that people are having. This is showing you the problems that people can have with crypto. And this is the kind of thing we talk about when we're mentioning like Bitcoin, you know, like, it's not to knock Bitcoin, but it's just outdated. It's slow. It can't really do anything. You know, Hedera can do so much stuff. The amount of things that I'm seeing that Hedera can do. And I don't see any issues with the network. Like, it's consistently being able to scale with no problems. It can handle the throughput. You know, it's all going amazingly well. And everything is fixed, so you know exactly what you're dealing with. Everything is predictable. So I think this is something that's going to be really big in the future for Hedera. And I think this is where they're probably going to steal a lot of networks custom. I think they're going to take a lot of clients because of this. So just quickly moving on, you've got Mance also talking about this, seeing complaints about skyrocketing gas fees. The cost to use a ledger should be independent of the price of the ledger token. The cost to use Hedera is denominated in dollars, not HBAR. Result, inexpensive, predictable pricing. Hedera is smart, Web3. Yeah, I can't agree more. I think that is a genius idea, and it's such a simple idea when you think about it in the context, but it's so unique. No one else is really doing that, right? And this is where I'm saying it really does just set them apart. And this is the kind of stuff that really does make a network. Like, this is the kind of thing that would really make you want to use a network over another network. Because I'll tell you now, I would choose Hedera over Ethereum any day. I would choose Hedera over Ethereum all day long. I've had my experience on Ethereum. I only use it because I have to. It's not something where I really want to. And once it gets to a point where I don't have to use Ethereum anymore, honestly, I won't, because it's just not a pleasurable experience. It's really not. And I think this is where it's going to go long term. I think a lot of people see this about Ethereum. I think Ethereum, it's great in terms of what it introduced, right? It was incredible in that sense, but it's just outdated now. It can't really scale. It's expensive. It's slow. It's just not good in this day and age. There's just better options out there, and Hedera being the main one, I would say. So just one other thing I'll quickly address here, because we've got another post from Uniswap Labs and then SaucerSwap Labs giving a response. Say goodbye to front running and sandwich attacks. Uniswap X returns surplus generated by MEV back to swappers via price improvements. Dig into the white paper to learn more. Okay, so then we've got a response here from SaucerSwap Labs. The issues of MEV, in brackets maximal extractable value, and front running are prevalent across many blockchains. However, these problems simply do not exist on the Hedera network. Hedera's unique hashgraph consensus algorithm, operating without a mempool and bypassing the conventional block structure vulnerable to bribes and toxic order flow, ensures fair transaction ordering. This sets SaucerSwap and other Hedera-based dApps apart. What can I say, guys? What can I say? This is the kind of thing that I'm talking about. The problems that you're seeing with some of the networks just simply don't exist on Hedera. Do you see what I mean? And this is why when I keep talking about price, you've got to look away from price. Ethereum's doing well because Ethereum is the OG. It's the same way how Bitcoin is leading the market right now. It's because it's the OG. It's the first of its kind. It has first mover advantage. But it's not in any way technology-wise superior to Hedera. Like, Hedera just beats it on every level. So at the end of the day, I think with Ethereum, you're looking at something that's had its day. Now, there will be people who stick to Ethereum because they're just core fans and because it's just what they're used to. But as I've shown you in quite a few of my videos now at this point, there's a lot of companies who have left Ethereum to go to Hedera. We've seen that. I've literally shown you companies talking about this, the Diamond Standard being one of them. So we can already see how people think about this kind of stuff. We can already see how much people think Hedera is better than Ethereum. The only difference here as to why Ethereum is doing better is because it's got a head start. Right? Hedera's got much more time and ground to make up because it came out way later than Ethereum. Right? And for you guys who haven't really followed the XRP like Ripple lawsuit, Ethereum got their head up through basically corruption. So like, they not only had a head start, but they actually managed to bribe their way to get themselves into the position that they're in. So, there's all that as well, allegedly. But, it's like, it's so crazy in terms of how Ethereum got to where it is. So when you put that in there in the mix as well, I think as you start to see these cryptos starting to grow through like utility, and institutions coming in to actually want to use cryptos for their purpose and the things that they can solve, the real world problems that they can solve, I just think Hedera is going to have an absolute tear at that point. I think Hedera and HBAR is going to get scooped up massively, because the amount of things that Hedera can do, the amount of use cases it can solve, the amount of use cases it can provide, the utility, it's incredible. It's mind blowing how many things you can do with Hedera and HBAR. It's absolutely insane. So when it comes to it, at the end of the day, I'm very comfortable with HBAR, and I think the future looks very, very bright. And all this stuff that you've seen there is all evidence of that. But what do you guys think after everything you've heard? Do you think HBAR and Hedera is in a league of its own? Do you think this kind of stuff will be reflected in its price? Do you think this will be good for the bull run that's coming? Or do you not agree with this? Is there anything in this video that you've heard that you disagree with? Or do you just think that everything that's been said is not going to be good for HBAR's price overall long term? Let me know your thoughts, guys. I'd be interested to hear. Thank you very much for watching this. If you did like it, please remember to drop a comment, like, and subscribe. But until next time, take care.